All right, so now that we've built the base plate for the slide lock and the actual locking pin, we need to assemble it. So we're just going to create the slide lock assembly, okay? And what you'll see is basically the same screen you saw before. And we're going to move that to this front plane. And instead of using the Part Studio where you're building, we're going to use the Assembly tab. And what that's going to allow you to do is to assemble any components you want together. So you'll hit Insert, and you'll go to Other Documents, and you want it on Onshape, and then you'll scroll down to your active. So these are your two actives, or these are your two actives, that's mine. So you'll put in this part, this part, and it'll insert it, okay, wherever you want it. And so let's just lock it in place here, okay. And then this feature works the same as the other feature, however you want to see it. Let's look, maybe, oops, I always forget I got this little guy over here too. Okay. Anyway, so however you want to look at it, okay. So now you have the base plate in, and we're going to have to do, and we're fine with that. So then we're going to say Other Documents again, Onshape, and then you'll scroll down till you have an active unit part. And actually, hold on. I want to, oh no, go away. All right, now it's stalled and it might have just crashed. So who knows what just happened there. Okay, well, just you're not the only one who has trouble with this. So anyway, so now what I'm going to do is I want to look at it actually like this. And I'm going to turn it like that, okay? And I'm going to do an Insert, Other Documents, Onshape, and then you see how some are grayed out and some are active. Go ahead and find your active one. And so you'll hit that, and you want to bring the part in, okay? And tell it where you want the part, okay? If you click there, it'll just sit there, okay? Now, it's coming through your whole object, okay, which is not what you want. So what we'll do is we're going to turn it, and okay, so fine, that's where it's at, okay. So if I select this piece, okay, is it all selected? I just don't want to have a deal with it. Okay, you should get something akin to this, okay, and this is what's going to move your whatchamacallit around. Back it up. Come on. It's just a little, I don't know, in my opinion, it's just a little funky. Okay. I'm going to back out of that because that's not where I want it. I want it straight and without much pain. Okay, you can do a drag just like you did before. And I'm going to kind of back this, I want to back it this way. See how I'm moving it? Okay. So if I leave it there, that's fine. And then I really want to drag it like, let's drag it like this, okay? And you're just using these arrows and these toggle points to move it around its center axis, okay? So I'm happy with that. But I'm not happy with where it's located in relation to this piece because I actually want it to be centered in here. So what you're going to have to do, and it's a little bit funky in my opinion, grab it, okay? And you see these little components here. So you have fasten, you have revolute, which will be revolving around a center point. You have slide mate, which would just allow it to slide in one direction. You have planar, which would keep it on one face. You have cylindrical. Okay, now this would create a cylindrical between two parts. You have a pin and you also have a ball. So it really doesn't matter which one you select, but you do have to realize that once you place it, it is locked in place. So if I use this fasten, okay, the first thing it's going to ask me to do is choose my connector. And so I'm going to kick this connector. And then my second point of it should be this connector. And it should fasten it right there. Okay. Now, what I have is, whoops. Okay, go. Is this piece set in with the other. Now, if I want to move it, I can move it in, okay, which makes a little bit more sense. If you move it around, you still have this, the functionality of it working correctly. You can select it again if you want and move it to here, if that makes more sense for yours, okay? But look, it moved it out. So you have to be very, very careful with how you're placing it when you do it, okay? It's not perfect, but it does, and so you have to take it back and get rid of them, okay? Until you're back to where you once began, okay? So you can also select this again. Oops, not all of them, but pieces. Darn it all. Okay. And just do a slide this way as well. Click and drag, but it'll be fastened, so you can't. Okay. But what did I do? This one? I think I did fasten. I put it here. If you put it, let's see, move it and put it, nope, you see you got to get it back to a point that makes sense where you're, or it'll move it. Okay, so I'm going to close that, open this one, delete it, okay, and now I want this. Okay, so now I just have my parts back again. Okay, get that piece. There we go. And if I just have the parts, let's see if it'll let me move it. Yep. Okay. And you may want to move it, say you move it something like this. Okay, because that's really what your slide lock would look like if you had it in place. So you'll assemble it in the assembly. You'll insert your two pieces. You'll use your, you can use your fasten to place it correctly in the center point and then shift it. You can use the center point of this tube to place it with your fasteners, but play around with that and see how it works for you.